What began as a quiet night shift quickly spiraled into one filled with shocking twists and emotional moments in this Thursday's Grey's Anatomy. The episode split its focus between three storylines: Simone treating a patient with an unexpected link to her past, Quan and Jules making a risky house call to a diabetic woman, and Joe helping a widowed expectant mother. We also found out where Amelia is spending her sabbatical. Joe and Link debate faith and fate. Joe and Link were mid-conversation about her surprising decision to discuss baptizing the twins with his mom. Before they could leave the hospital, Joe was called to evaluate a new patient who wasn't thrilled with resident Dr. Marcus. The pregnant woman insisted on an unmedicated vaginal delivery, even though her baby was breech, making things tense for everyone. Link couldn't understand Joe's interest in baptism. Joe explained that while she doesn't attend church, she still believes in God and wants their children to grow up with a spiritual community. When Link asked her to define God, Joe quipped that he's like porn. You know it when you see it, but Link, a skeptic, couldn't relate. Frustrated by both her patient and her partner, Joe pressed him to admit what was really bothering. Link confessed that as a child in the cancer ward, church volunteers told him that God was watching over them, but if that were true, why would he let children suffer? Where is God now, he asked bitterly. Later, after Joe helped her patient open up about losing her husband 3 months earlier, she told Link she had prayed for him after the hospital explosion, and that it brought her comfort. Exhausted, the couple agreed to postpone the baptism discussion, but as they finally left for the night, Joe suddenly said, "I think my water just broke. Considering she's only 30 weeks pregnant, that's alarmingly early." Simone's emotional connection. While helping her patient Regina arrange family photos, Simone was stunned to spot her mother in one of the pictures. Regina revealed she had been her mom's best friend since childhood and regaled Simone with wild stories of her mother's rebellious, younger days. Very different from the strict image Simone's father painted. When Simone opened up about her estranged relationship with her sister Ebony, who blames her for their mother's death, Regina encouraged her to let go of the guilt and live life fully, just as her mom would have wanted. Sadly, those words proved prophetic. Regina went into cardiac arrest. Later that night, Simone desperately tried to revive her, unwilling to lose this last connection to her mother, but Weber gently reminded her it was time to let go. Afterward, Lucas offered her a ride home and casually mentioned that Amelia is in Boston with Meredith, but Simone chose instead to call her grandmother and reminisce. Quan and Jules go the extra. Quan showed real intuition when he convinced Jules to accompany him on a home visit to check on a patient who had missed her appointment. When they arrived, they found Mercedes Hernandez suffering from a severe diabetic foot infection. She refused to go to the hospital, so Quan tried to clean and treat the wound himself, but the infection was too advanced and her toe detached. Fearing deportation because immigration officers were reportedly nearby, Mercedes again refused hospital care. Thinking fast, Quan called Bailey, who arrived with a fully equipped ambulance and managed to save Mercedes' life. Afterward, Bailey chastised Quan and Jules for their recklessness, saying they endangered the clinic, but also acknowledged that their compassion went above and beyond. Still, she warned, "Go rogue again without telling me first, and you're fired." The next morning, Jules ran into Ndugu, who was nervously rehearsing a speech he had to give. He admitted public speaking terrifies him, recalling how he once hyperventilated during the Pledge of Allegiance as a kid. To help, Jules handed him a toy dinosaur given to her by Mercedes' son, telling him it might calm his nerves. The fond look Ndugu gave her as she walked away suggested that their connection might be deepening. So, Grey's Anatomy fans, are you worried about Joe and her premature labor? Will Simone finally start living life on her own terms? And how long before Ndugu and Jules cross that line between friendship